Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. In today's video, I am playing with felt. I'm going to make some home decor pieces and a card, both with felt and dies from Trinity Stamps. So here is the felt I'm using. I just went through my stash and pulled out some colors that I liked for Easter and some coordinating embroidery floss. I'm going to be using the Bunny Egg Shaker die set. I've been using this die set a lot lately. I love it. I made some treat holders, I've made a shaker card, and now home decor. It's quite versatile. So I'm going to cut out the solid egg from that die set, and I'm going to cut 4 from each color so that I can make 2 stuffed eggs. You'll see how that's going to work. So the die actually cuts through the felt quite easily. I have a variety of felt here. Felt that I've bought for kids projects, felt that I bought at the craft store that was a little bit thicker, but my favorite place to buy felt is from Benzie Designs, which Trinity Stamps has partnered with before, and so I fell in love with their felt. So check them out. Next, I am going to die cut this row of hearts so that I can put a heart on the front and the back of each egg. Now it cuts 5. I only need 4, so it's quite perfect. Also, the Crafty Gluefriend works really good for tacking pieces down. Now I am going to stitch these hearts, but just having that glue to hold it in place is so nice. So here you can see all 4 of the colors die cut out with their hearts on them before we start the stitching. So I'm going to take my embroidery floss and I'm going to split it down the middle. And that way I'll have 3 strands to work with, and I just find this thinner thickness of thread works best for me. So I'm going to thread that through my needle, and then I'm going to hold the end on my finger, lay the needle over the top, and wrap that thread around 3 times. Then I can push the needle up and pull it through while holding that thread with my hand, and then I have my knot. It works so good. All right, so now it's time to stitch these hearts. So I'm just going to do a basic stitch up and then down. I'll move over, take another stitch up, and then down. It's very, very simple, very easy to do, except that I would not classify myself as an expert stitcher at all. So trying to get these evenly spaced and the stitches the same length is a little bit tricky for me, but I love working with felt so much, especially because it's another fun way that I can use my dies. So there's the first one stitched, and then I figured out how I liked it better. 3 stitches on each side, 3 at the top where 1 stitch goes down the center of the heart, and then 1 at the bottom or point of the heart. So that's what I did on the rest of them. And now let's take 2 and stitch them together. I'm going to do a blanket stitch all the way around. I'm going to start on the inside and go through just the back layer so I can tuck my knot in. Then I'm going to go through both layers just about the same exact spot that I went in before. But before I pull that tight, I'm going to take my needle and go through that loop. And I'm going to continue the same stitch all the way around. Now, you can go down from the top if that's easier for you for spacing, and then go through the loop, or you can also come up from behind, which is what I tend to do and I like best. And you can see when you do the stitch, you're going to have a line of thread that stays on the edge of your project, and I love that look. So I do this a lot. I recently did a heart garland for like St. Patrick's Day, and it's still hanging on my stamp room door because I love it so much. I have done ornaments. Both of those videos are here on the Trinity Stamps channel. I will link them for you so you can watch them right after this video. And I've also done a video where I made Valentine cards with the felt that I had left over from my heart garland. So I will link that one in the description box below for you so you can check that out. But here you can see the blanket stitch. I went almost all the way around and then left an opening so that I could stuff it with some polyfill. So you want your polyfill to be nice and fluffy so you don't get any lumps and bumps. So I kind of just pull it apart before I stick it in, and then just use my finger to stuff that. I don't put a ton in these eggs. I don't want them to be really puckery. I just want them to be puffy. And then I can hold that down and continue the blanket stitch to fill in that opening and close it up. So this is a really easy project to do. If one you could probably even do it with your kids. I know we've got some people out there watching that love to do crafts with their grandchildren, so this might be one you could do depending on their age and their interest in the project, but I think it would be super fun. So and then to finish off the stitch, you want to go back through that take your last stitch and then go through your first stitch. Does that make sense? You just want to finish off and tie it off at the end so that it's got that string going all the way around. And then I like to take my needle and tuck my little knot inside if it's sticking out at all. So there is my first egg. Oh my word, they're so cute. So I continued to do this with the rest of the eggs. So I had a total of 8 and they turned out so cute. I also did white on the kind of like coral colored egg, and I love that. And I put them in this little wooden basket next to my fireplace with some festive Easter grass that totally matches. I just love this wooden basket. I found it at a thrift store, and I love to fill it up with different things for the holidays like pine cones, and I just think it's really cute. So let's jump into doing felt on a card. I'm going to start out hot foiling this background. It is so gorgeous. I am using some Speckled Aura hot foil on some very smooth white cardstock. I let that sit while the timer was flashing. When the timer stopped flashing, I removed the entire base from my Glimmer hot foil system and then run that through my die machine. The heat and the pressure are going to transfer that background. It's like a vintage tile background right onto my cardstock, and it is stunning in this Aura foil. I love it. So that's going to be the background for my card. I thought it would also be fun to hot foil the word Easter in the same foil. Now this is the big Easter cut and foil set. So it also die cuts, but then it also foils. So I'll show you the rest of the die set because we are going to die cut this out. So here's the hot foil piece. There's the die that cuts out the word Easter. And then we have our kind of shadow die. We're going to use the shadow die to cut this out, but you saw it was a very solid die. So I have one where I've already die cut the shadow. I'm going to use that negative piece to lay over the top of my hot foiling, and that's going to act as a guide so I can take that die and drop it in to that guide, and it's going to hold in place and cut out my hot foiled sentiment. Super easy. It works so good. So I highly recommend this. It's easy to do. It just takes a little tape and then you have your hot foiled sentiment cut out. But that die also works as a shadow layer if you want to die cut the word Easter. So lots of different ways you can use this set. So there it is, ready to go on the card. But we're going to set it aside, and I'm bringing in the Dainty eggs. I'm using that third to the largest because the little egg that's solid from the bunny egg fits perfectly on top of this. I learned this from Brenda on our design team. She has a card with it that's a shaker on the Trinity Stamps blog, so you should go check that out. It's a super cute card. So I'm going to make a little shadow behind my bunny using salvage patina right over the top of my hot foiling because hot foiling will resist ink, and I just want to make sure I got enough ink on there, so I'm bringing that Dainty egg back in, and then I'm just going to buff it with a dry baby wipe, or you could use a paper towel or a cloth, and then it will remove any ink that's just sitting on top. So now I need to bring in my word Easter so I can get good placement for all my things before I start gluing things down. So I'll glue down first the Dainty egg, and that's going to give me a reference for gluing on all the little felt parts of my bunny. So these parts are from the felt bunny die set, or the bunny egg die set rather, and they fit the curve of the egg perfectly, the little legs, so you can kind of figure out how to place them on there. And then we're going to do the ears. I die cut it twice, once from white felt and then once from that same coral color that's going to be like the egg shape on this card. So I could use those fallout pieces for the center of the ear, and then they're two-toned, and I can just glue those right down onto the card. It works perfectly. So cute. Now, if you did not see my video where I made the treat holders that were shakers with this die set, you've got to check that out. That'll be one of the videos at the end for you. All right, so when I added this egg on and I pressed it in place, you can kind of see the lumps and bumps from the legs and the ears, so I decided a second egg would be in order, and I'm going to glue that right over the top, and then it just makes it a little bit thicker and those lumps and bumps aren't as noticeable. So next, all we need to do is add the hands right on there, and I thought since I made the home decor eggs with a heart in the center, I would put a heart in the center of this one because remember I had some left over. So I'm going to put the kind of teal colored one in the center. It goes with that color that's in the background of my card, and then it's time to add Happy Easter. So my hot foiled Easter, I need to pop it up so it fits the height of my felt bunny. I just love that felt bunny. Using felt on a card adds something really special, just that extra soft texture on there. I love it. All right, so now I have my Simply Sentimental Happy I'm bringing in. There's a little stamp that is like a reverse image, so the letters are white and the area around it is colored. So I'm using coral. Yeah, I showed the ink pad there on the screen, and then there's a coordinating die that I can use to die cut that out, and then we'll just layer that right on top of the word Easter like that. And this is going on to my A2 size card, so it has a nice white frame all the way around, but I'm not finished yet. No, I have to bring in the Aquamarine Ripple gemstones, and I'm going to add those to the center of each of those like flourishes on my card, and that's just going to add that extra special touch. It has that really light aqua color like I have in my Salvage Patina ink, and it just finishes off this card. It's so special with the shine. You have that really bright shiny texture, and then you've got that soft felty texture. I love felt on cards. So there's my home decor project that's totally going to sit by my fireplace, and then I have my Easter card ready to go. So thank you so much for stopping by the Trinity Stamps channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and here's 2 more with felt that I know you'll love that you can watch next. You can also find more inspiration from Trinity Stamps on our Facebook and Instagram pages. I will see you all again next Saturday. Happy stamping. Bye.